Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we currently don't have the... There we go. We don't have the mission loaded, but that's because we need to start our burn right now. I saved it like right as this burn was supposed to start. I'm sure we can make a small correction to deal with that small problem, but awkwardness does ensue a little bit here. But it should be fine. So we're going to cruise on through here. There we go. Looking good. And we ditch this booster, and off we go. Well, hello, Moon. That is, of course, where we are going. So that is indicative of this being reasonably good timing. Reasonably. So this is going to be about another 1 minute burn here. We've got plenty of Delta V in this tank to get that done. This tank will do our maneuvering around the moon, as well as the majority of our braking over the moon, at which point we will swap over to the Prototype Octo being our control point, and turn on these engines for our landing. So that'll be great. We've got about 30 seconds left in this burn. And I do want to... Oh, that felt slightly sticky there when I attempted to adjust our heading. I don't know why. That was a little weird, but sure, whatever. Now, we need to keep in mind that this is not a stage. We'll have to manually undock this. And hope that the struts undock as well. I think they should. Right? Okay, we've kind of overshot a little bit. No, not really overshot. We were getting close to overshooting. We were just slightly off and pushed the node quite a ways. Okay. This is probably close enough. How are we looking? So our trajectory here is impact. That is an impact trajectory. Let's back off on that a little bit. We don't want to impact the moon here. So we're just going to pull that on back. Cool. And bring that up to, I guess 17 kilometers will be fine. Of course, once we reach this periapsis, we are going to go ahead and add a maneuver here to bring that on down. So let's circularize something kind of like this. Good enough. That'll do. And of course, we're going to need to target our colony core. So let's get into position for that retrograde burn, and we'll have to change our inclination eventually. I don't want to be on retrograde, so let's just go to stability assist, and let's prepare to warp on forward. Goodbye, Kerbal. We're not coming back. We're a little upside down right now, apparently. We should probably think about fixing that at some point. But let's hop into the moon's sphere of influence. Apparently there was an eclipse right there, a lunar eclipse. Cool. So that is, of course, over at this point, which is good. Well, actually, we've got plenty of power in this thing. Like, we have so much power. Look at this, 32,000 electric charge in this power module. So that'll be absolutely fine. And, of course, I want to point out that, as soon as this is loaded in properly, I want to point out that we're going to be positioned more like this when we land, approximately. Let's just get into position for this burn. There we go. And hopefully the sun will be a little bit higher, so this will be flattened out a bit. But if we need to change where these gigantors are, that's fine. We can do that. Okay. So we're going to burn this here in about 30 seconds. This is just to enter orbit. And this is going to use almost 25% of our remaining fuel. Not quite 25%, I think. Yeah, not quite, but very close, like 20-ish% of our remaining fuel in this stage. And of course, we're going to need to do a braking burn, which is going to be another 500 meters per second or so, which will be absolutely fine. So we're going to commence this burn in 3, 2, 1, mark. And off we go. Obviously, as you can see, we have some blockage happening here. That's something we can adjust once we're on the surface. Okay, we just entered into orbital mode here. Cool. Let's just lock to retrograde for the moment. And that should be absolutely fine. So we're now in orbit and bringing our orbit on down. There we go. And we are going to stop this burn fairly soon. I don't actually care about this maneuver necessarily, but we'll just bring this on in and stop the burn here. That's good enough. Okay, so this is 15 kilometers and 18 kilometers. That'll do. So we're right here right now. Which way is the light going? I think the light is coming this direction. Maybe. So this is pretty close to getting into darkness. It's not quite there yet, but it should be okay. We've got plenty of power. So sometime around the periapsis here or so, we'd be looking to change our inclination to bring us down over the colony core. Something along the lines of this, although doing it over here is actually a little bit better. It'll be more delta V, but I'm not concerned about that. So something more along the lines of this-ish. We will have to correct it a little bit later on. So I would like to actually have it be maybe like this. Let's go ahead and warp around to here and see what this is looking like. Yeah, we're going to have to correct it a bit as we get in closer. I did overshoot it deliberately, and that appears to be decent, actually. Yeah, that seems pretty decent. Let's go ahead and warp to here, about 3 minutes into the future. There we go. And let's line up for this. We're just going to position down over here at anti-normal. And do we need to change this timing? I think a little bit. So we can move it ahead to be about here. There we go. And we can warp forward a little bit. Cool. I want to overshoot it ever so slightly. So that'll be fine. Our burn is going to start here in 8 seconds. This is going to be another 127.1 meters per second. And that's absolutely fine. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. And off we go. Cool. So our inclination is, of course, changing here. I want to be on the maneuver node. Thank you very much. There we go. That's probably good enough. Yeah, that'll do. So at this point, we're going to want to do a braking burn sometime around here-ish. Emphasis on the ish. Something kind of like that. We're supposed to have already started this burn, but it's fine. Okay. So let's bring this on in. Beautiful. So we can see here, this is our target location, the moon colony site. Fantastic. I'm going to rotate us like so. Cool. And parking on that maneuver node. We're just continuing to brake here. And we don't have a KER on this, so we'll have to eyeball it. Seems reasonably fine. Excellent. So that colony site is about 30 kilometers off at this point. There we go. And we're mostly just looking to head over this thing. Then we're going to do a retrograde burn up here. Apparently we've massively overshot it. That's exciting. And a retrograde burn up here to be something kind of like this. And then from there, we'll fine-tune our approach. Okay, so that's going to use up the majority of the fuel here, right? The majority of it, but not quite all. Where are we relative to our landing site right now? Landing site is here. Gotcha. Didn't see it for a moment there, but it's all good. So we're going to start this burn in about 20 seconds. Okay. And we will commence this burn in about 10 seconds now. Just adjusting our heading a little bit. This is a pure retrograde burn, of course, but that's fine. 3, 2, 1, and mark. Cool. Let's decelerate. Gonna go into surface mode here now. Cool. We may overshoot it slightly. We'll see. Just gonna lock to surface retrograde at this time. And we're gonna bring this on down. I don't care about this maneuver node anymore. This is completely fine. Fantastic. And we're just bringing our surface speed on down. Okay. Looking decent. We don't have a KER, so we don't know exactly where we're going to stop, right? But that's fine. I want to kill our horizontal speed for right now. So we're just going to park here and push the node over. Something like that. We've got 95 meters per second left here, but let's go ahead and undock that. Beautiful. We're now going to control from here. And let's head over to retrograde. That is not retrograde. Control point reversed? Sure, but I guess prograde. Okay. That's very awkward, but okay. So let's go ahead and look at how high up we are. Sure, we're almost certainly going to want to cut our speed soon. We've got 3,000 delta V here. So that's more than enough. Let's start a deceleration here. Oh, we haven't activated these engines. That would usually help. Cool. So we're starting a deceleration burn. We're about 4 kilometers out and about 4 kilometers up. But I'm just slowing us down ever so gently here right now. We can see we'll be a little bit off. But that's fine. So this is going to go boom relatively soon. I can't actually read that because it's gray on gray, but that's fine. We're just continuing to decelerate here. We're about 2 kilometers up and moving at about 30 meters per second. I'm going to slow down our deceleration a little bit. Kaboom. That's perfect. We did get some science points sent back to Kerbal from that. So we can see we're going to be like 200-ish meters out. We can attempt to do something about that by rotating like this and then pitching like this. Cool. And then coming back to retrograde. But I want to pitch it a little bit further. So we're going to head all the way over to the horizon for right now. Oh, it wants to go around in an awkward direction? Sure. I guess that's fine. We're about 1 kilometer up at this time. So let's continue our deceleration. We've got plenty of delta V here. I would like to be going around 10 meters per second right now. So we're just going to bring that right on down. Okay. That's accelerating. We're going to decelerate a little bit. Current target is about 7 meters per second. Approximately. It doesn't have to be exact. And I want to rotate us over here again. There we go. Because I want to get some additional horizontal speed here. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to bring this back on down. Just bringing us in a little bit closer. We can always hop in again if we need to. If we feel like we want to get that little bit closer. And realistically, I feel like we should. Okay, something kind of like that. Beautiful. We're just continuing to get the speed and then kill the speed, which isn't necessarily what we want here. Okay, we're 250 meters up, and I'm cutting our throttle a little bit here. We're now accelerating. Okay. Just trying to find that sweet spot for the throttle right now. Let's just push this over again and get a little closer. But honestly, this is probably close enough. Let's start our deceleration here for our final landing burn. Cool. We're now 100 meters up, and we're just very gently decelerating. Yeah, this is not the most fuel-efficient landing ever, but it's okay. Excellent. We're just going to hold stability right now. Cool. We're only about 30 meters up and continuing to decelerate. Now we're accelerating. Gonna turn our brakes on. Cool. Decelerating again. And the reason I turned on my brakes is because we are drifting backwards a little bit here, but there we go. We have landed. And brakes are on. We're now going to control from here again. Beautiful. Actually, we should control from, like, this docking port. There we go. It's the same ultimate control, I think. And I would like, at this point, to turn SAS on to SAS only. We do not need to have the reaction wheels on pilot. So that way we can steer without actually having to worry about tipping. Okay, let's turn our brakes off. How far away did we end up landing? It's hard to read this, at least for me right now. Let's actually go ahead and set this as our target. This isn't our actual target. About 100 meters away. That's not too bad. And we'll set this as our target then. So we know that we're going to need to head off over this direction, right? We're rolling downhill right now. I haven't gotten us any additional speed. So over we head. And now we're aiming to get some speed. Cool. So just heading on in, and we're going to dock up on this side. Not going to go any faster than about 3 meters per second. This is actually absolutely fine, I think, in terms of speed. We don't necessarily want to run over our science equipment, if there is any here. I don't think there is. There's just the flag, if I recall correctly. So that'll be fine. We're going to want to head up over this way. We are still gaining a little bit of speed, and I'm going to turn on our brakes here. We're still gaining speed. I'm going to start reversing. Now we're reducing speed. But it's nowhere near as quickly as I had hoped. Okay. We're drifting a little bit. Cool. That hill got us a lot more speed than I was hoping for. We overshot a little bit, but it looks like it's okay. Let's go ahead and turn up our brakes here to 200%, just to make sure that those are a little bit more effective. I thought about doing that when our brakes weren't doing the trick, but then I was like, if I do that on one side, things could get really bad really quickly. So instead, we're going to do this, and we're going to try to make our way up this hill here. Emphasis on try. We could up our traction control here, but we're creeping in. I wonder if we would have better luck reversing. Oh, hang on. Let's make this not steer in the back. Okay. That should do. Now we'll turn our brakes on. And we're attempting to make our way up this hill. We may have to up our traction control, though. So let's try it with our traction control on 5. Noted that it seems like we did a lot better with 3 wheels than with 2. Okay. Trying to get some forward velocity going here. This isn't that steep of a hill, but this is very heavy, so... But there we go. Now we're starting to go forward. That's good. Can we get any turn going on here? The answer is a hard maybe. Hard on that maybe. Okay. We could consider dropping some weight here via the engines. Just burning the engines not high enough to lift off for a very long time. That is a potential option. Another potential option would be target this docking port instead and temporarily dock up there, and then move the fuel into the station. That's a potential option. Another potential option is just go straight forward here. Hope to build up some speed. Let's see, our motor is currently apparently at 16.6. It's not trying very hard, is it? Let's go into our maneuver mode here. Yeah, it's really not trying very hard. So let's just go backwards here and turn like so. This is only mildly awkward. I didn't expect to have these sorts of problems at this point. No, keep going this direction. We're not looking to accelerate in the reverse direction right now. We're just looking to turn. This is a very heavy module, so I guess I can't say I'm super shocked about this. Okay, now I'm going forward, but still turning this way. Okay, now we're turning this direction and trying to go forward, but I'm seeing that we're still creeping backwards here. We could go grab another set of wheels and ditch the landing boosters with our engineer. That is an option. Oh man. It just feels like we have no power to overcome even the tiniest of hills. That's exciting. Well, we definitely could. I have a dumb idea. Actually, let's get lined up here. Turning on our brakes and continuing to turn. The dumb idea is, what happens if we were to simply rotate these? So, we would hop over here. We would have Lenbert EVA. Lenbert would then let go and fly over here. So we're essentially going to be using our rocket boosters here to lift, or rather to push ourselves forward instead of up. This should do the trick. So we'll position right over here. Okay, I'm going to quick save in case we have any Kraken issues. And then we are going to hop over here. The thud exceeds the weight that a Kerbal can construct with in this gravity. Okay, so max part mass is 0.37 tons. We may need to get our other Kerbal out here to help lift. So, Kenken. Come on out. All hatches are obstructed. Okay, so go ahead and transfer the crew to up here. Yes, there's no scientist present. So we'll EVA Kenken. And we will let go. RCS on. And Kenken is going to come over here to help us lift. More Kerbals means we can lift more. I'm hoping that it's enough to actually be able to lift the thud. Fingers crossed. If not, we'll have to try to find a different solution. Okay. So we'll just park here. Cool. And now, in Kerbal construction mode, 0.74 tons, but it's still too heavy. Sad. Very, very sad indeed. Okay, so additional methods of doing this. The weight is a big part of the problem, but hypothetically, what if we did just burn, like, we thrust limit these down to like 0.5%, right? So we thrust limit that down to 0.5%. We can either burn the fuel to get rid of the weight, or we can just use it to counteract gravity to some degree. So with that at 0.5%, thrust to weight is 0.03. What if we were to crank this up? 0.46? So what if we were to put it at 10 and 10? Like that. 0.69? Sure. And now we head forward. Yeah, that's allowing us to accelerate in the correct direction, because now we're counteracting a chunk of the gravity that is pulling us down the hill. Beautiful. We'll try not to run over our Kerbals. Now we need to overshoot this direction. right? And we'll try not to fry our Kerbals either. Just throttling up a little bit to pull some of the weight off of these wheels. Cool. It seems like this will work fine. I was really hoping to have rocket assistance going up the hill, like pushing us forward. That would have been funnier, but I guess this works. So I'm continuing to throttle this up. Ooh, okay. I think now we've officially crested the rough part of the hill. That's excellent. Our speed has dropped off a little bit, so I'm just making sure that we're not going to fly off with this thrust to weight. Okay. Just checking. Yeah, it definitely seems like what we need is a decent amount of rocket assistance here. Okay, I'm turning on the brakes. Okay, so we managed to get it to here. That's for sure. We're going to bring this back up to around here and just attempt... Oh, we're drifting down the hill. Okay, we could simply run it like this and let it burn for a while. That's a possibility. That'll drop a lot of weight. I was really hoping that we would be able to go straight up the hill here. But that's definitely not an option. Okay. Yep, we're losing ground here. So, with that being the case, the question now becomes, can we do anything else about this? And I don't think so. I think we just have to burn this for a while with the brakes on. So we do something like this, and we just drop our weight. I hate to waste the fuel like this. But we have too much weight for these pitiful little motors to make our way up the hill. Note to self, actually, hang on. What if we disable steering here? Turn off our brakes and do this. That is actually, oddly enough, pretty functional. We're making it just with the gimbaling here. Okay, so we're going to head on up over to about here, and then we'll cut our throttle and turn our brakes on. Okay, cutting throttle, turning brakes on. We did slightly impact that, but now we're going to enable our steering here. Steering appears to be... I must have accidentally inverted one of these. Or something. No? That might have been part of our problem, actually. Now that I think about it. Okay, come on. That's awkward. Okay. Very, very awkward. Can we not go down the hill, please? Thank you. Okay, so that's the gimbaling direction that we need. Okay, let's brake using our rocket booster. Cool. Okay, we'll figure out a way to get this thing docked up in the next episode. It is time to put a cut in here. We have multiple options, and the question is, how are we going to go about it? You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.